Awesome. Okay, we're recording. So thanks everybody for joining tonight's call. We're really excited to have a guest trainer on tonight, Tyler Dickerhoo. Thank you again for your time tonight. We're so excited to have you. And just so I can give you guys an intro, for those of you who do not know Tyler and his beautiful wife, Kelly, they have been with Isagenix since 2011, building their Isagenix business. And they also are Isagenix millionaires already, and they have been in the top 10 for the last 5 years. So they are continually growing and in momentum. They were Isagenix Couple of the Year in 2015. They're Start Ambassadors. And Tyler was just a nominee for Man of the Year in 2019 at the gala event. Tyler also is on the field advisory board for Isagenix this year. And we're going to see him as one of the keynote speakers at NYKO. So,
as well as yourself, too.
Yeah, thank you. I'm pumped. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. Once again, thanks so much. A lot of gratitude for you, man. I want to tell you guys, first of all, real quick, Tyler and I are kind of cut from the same cloth, big into fitness and sports. Family first, always with us. We're great dads, and we also have the same hairline. So that's how we connected. Talking about our barbers. So, Tyler, tell us. Let's kick this off with just tell us about your journey and how it led you to where you and Kelly are today.
Hold on, sorry about that. There we go. Okay, I was just making sure I had the right microphone and I messed that up. But hopefully, you guys can hear me all right. Perfect. We're all good to go. So, wow, thank you, Rod and Gina, first of all, for the invitation to share, to be on here with all you guys. I'm excited for you guys to be here. And, I just admire Rod and Gina because they are always smiling. They're always happy. And it's some of the greatest people that I love to see at events and, give Rod a fist bump and know that he's working out hard. And as I've gotten to know Gina a little bit, hopefully get to know her a little bit better here as we get to speak together at New Year's kickoff, that I just appreciate the leaders that you guys have, that they care so much about you guys. So as I see people shaking your head, yeah, that is true. So a little bit of my background, some more here, kind of how we got involved with Isagenix. I was a nutritionist for dairy cows. That's what I did for 13 years. And in the process of that business was in California. I grew up in Ohio, went to school in New York, saw more snow than I'd ever seen in my life. So I moved to California and started a nutrition business in 2001. And in 2009, we moved to Spokane, Washington. If you don't know where that's at, that's home of Gonzaga University. And it's in the eastern side of Washington. I had no idea where it was, but we came here partly because of '09, partly because we had 2 going on 3 kids. My in-laws moved here. And a couple years after that, Kelly was going on a kind of a bachelorette weekend girls trip back to California. And that's where she was born and raised. And on that flight, she sat next to a lady who ultimately told her about Isagenix. Kelly was a, tired mom of 3, sat next to this lady that was also a mom of 3. And they just kind of built a relationship and they just kind of, connected during that flight. And this lady ultimately said to Kelly, it's like, hey, you might be interested in this cleanse that I have. I think it would be really good for you. And Kelly's like, I'm willing to do anything. And so she got a kind of information about the product. She showed them to me, and with my nutrition background, she said, hey, what do you think? And I said, this stuff looks great. From a formulation point of view, I don't know anything about network marketing. I don't know anything about, company per se, but just looking at the products, it's great. And to be truthful, we didn't even know it was network marketing at that point. So fast forward a couple years, Kelly gets, and give you the fast forward, Kelly gets started, loves the products. I use the products and, kind of support in the business. But I, at that point, had my nutrition business. I was also working for a company based here in Spokane that consulted commodity markets. And, I'd kind of gone through a period where 08, '09, I don't know if any of you guys that were in business struggled, but I own my own business and I struggle. And agriculture, probably, if you guys don't know, when the economy's bad, it's worse in agriculture. And agriculture's had a real tough go of it the last 18 months. Maybe you guys have been doing great. Agriculture's absolutely gotten slaughtered. There's a lot of farmers all over the country that are just losing money like they've never lost before. And it was very much like that in 07 and 08. And as a provider of service to farmers, it was tough. And on the day before Thanksgiving in 2008, I lost 25% of my income. And that was something that ultimately led me to, getting a job as well. So I run my own business and took a job consulting commodity markets. So in 2011, when Kelly was introduced to the products, it was kind of, she was looking for something to do, but it was also kind of like, hey, we're making pretty good money, but yet we still wanted to get ahead in life. We wanted something better and different. And so I supported in the business for a couple of years, and ultimately, the spring of 2013, I said to Kelly, it's like, I've seen you run yourself ragged. Let me give you some kind of stats or whatever. In the first 6 months, Kelly, really running the business and going by herself, and I was there to support, was able to make 6 figures. By the time I'm kind of like, hey, you need help here in this business, we were, well over 6 figures, couple $100,000 a year. And yet Kelly was just exhausted. And what I saw herself doing is stuff that she didn't know what she was doing, from a standpoint of business, the leadership, the administrative, all that stuff. And I said, you need to hire someone to help you, or ultimately we do this together. Now, I could say that was probably the easiest decision to make at that point, but the hardest decision for the last 6.5 years. Working with your spouse can be great, but it can be super, super hard. And if any of you have struggled through that, just understand it's really, really hard. And so Rod and Gina do a phenomenal job of it. I will just say from my experience is they are the few. And it's continually a struggle. It's great. It's, great benefits from a standpoint of you can be on the same work schedule, but yet you're on the same work schedule. And that's a journey we're still trying to figure out and work through. But that was in March of 2013, kind of actively me getting involved in the business. We also decided, hey, that's a great time to start another business. So the day I quit my job, the next day we went and started looking at facilities and properties to open a gym. And so 6 months later, we opened a gym and ran a gym up until April of last year, when we shut down the business, kind of ultimately walked away from it because, it hadn't turned a profit. It was a lot of fun, learned a lot of things, but we also invested a lot of money. So kind of where we're at now, I guess my everyday has been a part of the business. One of the things that I'm passionate about, I think I was passionate about this before, but I didn't really understand what it meant, how it meant, is leadership. One of the things that I love to do, and if I look back over my professional career, I love seeing this coaching, helping people, is I love to see people accomplish things they never thought possible. I've coached my kids' teams. I've coached other teams. When I was a 21-year-old, I started coaching youth team in California. I just enjoy that because I had a lot of people help me. And so when I look at what we're doing now, and I look at what I did in my nutrition business, there are a lot of the same things. It's working with people, helping people, connecting with people, and helping them, identify what skills and talents they have. And that's what I love to do. And that's what network marketing provides. And so that's maybe in a nutshell, a little bit about me. I own my background. Like I said, I was a nutritionist for dairy cows. I still own cows. That's kind of a hobby. It's kind of a passion of mine. It's something that I do every day, take care of a few cows, a few younger heifers. It's just something to, for my mind, cleanse my mind, give me time to do stuff, activities. So that's still near and dear to my heart.
Tyler, can you, okay? I think you were freezing just a little bit.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Can you guys hear me okay? Thumbs up. Am I going okay? Yeah, we heard it was just like that slow-mo, when it gets like that slow robotic sound for just a little bit, but we got what you were saying. I didn't realize you guys were gym owners too, so we have that in common as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
it's hard business.
Did you know they owned a gym? So we learned something new.
Yeah.
So my question for you, which I'm really excited for the team to hear this answer. Mm-hmm. So I mentioned to you guys that this year Tyler is on the Isagenix Field Advisory Board. That's a big deal. So thank you, Tyler, because he basically represents all of us, helping corporate really kind of bridge the gap between us in the field and corporate. So thank you, Tyler, for all you do. I know it's a lot of work and commitment. But because I know you have some, you get some heads ups about things, you got the insight of what's coming. What are you most excited about with Isagenix, like the future of Isagenix and what's coming in 2020?
I think the thing that I'm most excited about is the story around and behind BIA. So one of the things that I know Josh talks a little bit about this, Dr. Plant, and one of the things that's really special about that product is that all the vitamins and minerals are sourced from plants, are sourced from fruits and vegetables. There's nothing synthetic in there. There's nothing in there that is, coming from an additional source. It's all from fruit. You look at the label and it's sweet potato, it is apples, it's all that stuff, right? And that is a real big story because one of the things we've seen nutritionally with people is that they have either ability, they don't absorb the vitamins and minerals very well. They have issues with it. And so one of the things Isagenix has done is gone to getting plant sourced, raw sourced nutrients, and they're incorporating it into BIA. And one of the most exciting things that I'm excited for is to see that in more products and that evolution coming through more and more of our product line. So that's kind of maybe a little bit of a heads up, but that's what I'm excited for. And the reason I'm excited for that is that starts to be a story that we can share with people. That starts to be a story that said, hey, this is why we're different. This is what makes Isagenix different. And I think it's safe to recognize how many people, in a show of hands, I know this is hard with 2 screens and 30 people, but I can hopefully get a quick gauge of this. How many people have been using Isagenix products for more than like 3 or 4 years? Okay, so a fair number of you, some of you maybe not so much. And one of the things, if you've been using products for less than 3 or 4 years, you kind of look at Isagenix, you've come there for, a couple of different reasons. One, because you were actually looking for results. You actually saw people results. You looked at products that, maybe you tasted products that actually for the first time they tasted good and not kind of weird. And so all those great things. But one of the things that's happened is the entire, field of nutrition has improved over the last 8 to 10 years that, I've been involved with this company. And I think to see that Isagenix is taking the route of saying, hey, instead of being that company that has amazing shakes and great cleanse products and all those different products that they've had for years, we need to continue to evolve and grow and develop and really have a story that sets us apart. And that's what I see coming with, BIA was the start of that. We have the collagen and bone broth. And what's different about that is, the fact that it's kind of how it's formulated. You have, the CBD oil, a little bit different, but all those are things that tell the story of we're going to get nutrients from the right source, plant source. We're going to do things that are great for your body. And what's going to happen is we're going to see an evolution and a improvement across all of the product line that really has that tenet, that common thread going throughout. So that to me is really exciting. Now, for someone that's been involved in this business for 8 years, one of the things that I had a tough time when I had my own nutrition business. When I first got started, it was great. I had a lot of fun. I think the market was good, and I grew my business really fast. And I really didn't appreciate what I grew. And so I just thought, oh, this is going to keep going and keep going. And, I had some ups and downs. I, stubbed my toes. I, bloodied my nose at times because I just didn't understand business. And I just thought it would come and, whatever have you. But one of the things that I ultimately got frustrated with is when I didn't have new stuff to talk about. And so I worked in my, if any of you have ever worked in sales and you have a territory, there's only a certain number of people that you can call on. And maybe you have a big territory. Maybe you have, if you can relate to that, fine. I had a really, really small territory. And so I could go talk to people, But if all I had to do was talk about the same old stuff and they're like, no, I'm good. I don't need any of this. I'm good. It got really, really hard to talk to them. And that was before I understood really connecting and asking questions, and that would lead to the answer. So I thought I always had to bring the information. I always had to bring the solution. And that's what my value was. And so now I think back and I think about where we're at now with these new products. It's a great reason and a way to go talk to people. It's a great way to share and not feel like I've been sharing the same products every day for the last X many of years, and it kind of gets stale and boring. We have something new and exciting to you. So that's for you that have, maybe been around a little while. For those of you that are new with Isagenix, I think it's a great way to continue to show that Isagenix has products that no one else does. And that can be cool. That can be enticing, because I think what's hard sometimes is Isagenix is not, it doesn't have this product line that can be for everyone. It really is, simplified, and it's kind of like it's nutrition to help you from the inside out. It's not put something on the outside, make everything look quick and better. It's not a quick fix. It is, hey, fuel your body from the inside out, and the results are going to show on the outside. And the more products that we have that kind of align with that and connect with that, make the conversation with people so much easier. Because one of the lessons that I had to learn, and I failed miserably at this, is thinking that it was about me. And not that it was about me, but in my nutrition business, I thought I was the one that had to come in and solve all the problems. So I would go to a client and I'd be like, well, here are all your problems and I'm here to fix it. And one of the things I quickly learned and learned the hard way in my hubris of being 20 something and kind of, I don't want to say arrogant, but thinking I had to prove myself, is most people, when you tell them all the problems, they're kind of like, dude, one, that's not my problem. And thank you very much for telling me all the things that I need to improve in life. And you don't get very far. But one of the things that I learned is when you just start talking to people and you start asking them and you start connecting with them and you start to say, hey, you know what? What struggles do you have in life? And you don't necessarily use the hey, what struggles do you have? But you kind of start connecting with people and you ask them about their life and just build a relationship, develop trust with them. Dale Carnegie's book, How to Influence People and Win Friends Influence People. I always get that mixed up, is great about just doing that. It's how can you ask people questions and just find out what value you have. And sometimes it's starting there. It's like, what are you good at and what you can share with people? Well, one of the best things that you can identify, especially in this business, what you're good at is like why you use these products. What's different? What do you believe in? And maybe it was the ionics. Great for you. Maybe it was the e-shots. Maybe it was BIA. That really like, oh my goodness, this made me a completely different person. And so when you understand, hey, that's what value I have, the best thing isn't to go run out and tell people that. The best thing is to connect with people and find out what struggles they have in life. So when I think back with my wife, and Jenny Elo did that to such an amazing, like one of the most amazing connectors that I've ever seen in life. And she didn't go and tell Kelly, oh my goodness, you're a mom of 3. You need this. It's going to be all the product you have in life. Sell her. No, she asked her questions. She found out where she was struggling. She was like, hey, you know what? I'm just exhausted. I'm tired. I got 3 kids. And so when I think about that, when I go and talk to people, it's asking about their life. I'll be honest. Isagenix for me has never, ever, ever been about putting on muscle or losing weight. It's never been about that. Not at all. Not one bit. I've done both. I've also maintained my weight. I've been within the same couple pounds for the last, 7 years. And I can guarantee there aren't too many 40-year-olds that can say that, not varying that much. But to me, it's all about ease. And now you can go to someone that is maybe tired, they want energy, or maybe needs to lose weight. And you can sit there and say, well, this is going to solve your problem. But maybe their problem is, I just need an easier way to do it. I just need an easier way so I'm not meal prepping all Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon. I'm not trying to figure out at, 5 o'clock at night, like Emily, who raced home at 8:30 at night, and she's thinking, what am I going to do to eat tonight? What do I have planned in order that I can do this? What am I going to do? And if Emily's thinking, hey, these words, just I can have a shake. I can have a shake. I know what it's going to taste like. I know that to me was a big solution. But yet if someone, hey, you need to kind of lean out, I would have been like, and yet I think people are doing that all day long when we're talking to them and we don't realize it. So that really got way off topic, but that's all back about fat.
That was really good, Tyler. It was excellent. Another thing I want you, I'd love you to touch on is like, we have a lot of new business builders on our team, but we also have a lot of other people trying to reignite their business. So what is your best advice to that, to this group?
I think it's kind of a little bit what I said earlier is one of the things, and I had a friend ask me this yesterday. Yesterday's not right. Within the last few days. He goes, all the new products are great, but what I'm finding out is people are getting distracted. It's like, it's making it more complicated. It's like, okay, well, I shared with him what I shared with you guys earlier. The new products are exciting for me because instead of talking about the same old, kind of feeling like a broken record, I have something new to actually talk to people with and connect about. And I said, one of the things that I've realized, and I've kind of internalized this, and you bear with this analogy for me, okay? And it's pretty obtuse, but hopefully it connects. I look at it as we're all, say you had a career, maybe someone on here does. Maybe we had a career as selling construction equipment, and we sell Caterpillar construction equipment. Now, if you know anything about construction equipment, let me tell you, there are other companies other than Caterpillar. There's also John Deere, there's, whatever. But if we're selling Caterpillar construction equipment, we have to recognize that, people probably love Caterpillar and they love the products, but all of the products that Caterpillar has maybe aren't the best. There's maybe a John Deere backhoe that's better than a Caterpillar backhoe. But somebody would buy a Caterpillar backhoe because all the equipment fit, they have the same service guy, it's all those things. Okay, so what does that mean about Isagenix? Well, understanding that the products you love are what's most important. So if I were to talk to a medical device salesperson, all right, what product do you love that you've seen people change their life, and focus on that and say, we have all the others, but this is the one that absolutely is just out of this world. And so how do I connect that to Isagenix? Figure out which product is most meaningful for you. If the shake changed your life because it was easy and it was simple and it changed everything about you, then great. If it was the, Isagenesis, I love Isagenesis. And I've seen Isagenesis, I've done those telomere tests, and I'm way younger than 40. And I've seen that. And what's funny is I look around and most people, granted, I'm bald. All right, Rod, we're bald. People don't know what age we are, especially if we have no gray hair. They're confused. And but I know that product works. I believe in the science. I love all the vitamins and minerals because of how they're formulated. I love, those products, the e-shots, whatever. And that's what I talk to people about. And it isn't that I go in because I didn't have that experience losing a bunch of weight. It's more of, I love those, but I love the whole process. And so my thought there is, if you're either reigniting or you're brand new, focus on what you love. Focus on what you love and go from there. And if you're asking people the right questions, if you're talking to them and connecting with them, you're going to easily say, hey, you know what? I love these products for this. I know that Isagenix also has these products. For example, I love Isagenesis. I can talk to people about that, right? But if I'm talking to somebody and they're like, I love these products, and I know you're looking to add muscle, you want great workout products that are clean. Let me tell you about my buddy Rod. My buddy Rod, who stays fit, he works out like a champ, all this stuff. He loves these products, and he's used all the products. That's where you can bring in those other stories. And I think the opportunity for someone that maybe is trying to reignite is remembering what you fell in love with, and just hold on to that, and not thinking that you need to be an expert on all of it, but just focus on where you connect, what's meaningful and powerful to you.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Hey,
yeah, I love that, Tyler. Hey, Tyler, I to shut this down, I would love for you to I love the way that you actually ended the meeting at the Caymans when we were there. When you ended,
oh boy, okay.
Yeah. And you made everybody sit back down, and it just like you had everybody's jaws drop. So if there's a way, it was about, you were pounding into us about your story and that part. And I wanted to know if that you could actually just share that with this group here, because it left everybody walked out of that room. The whole room was fired up when we left there.
All right. Well, that's awesome. So I think if I have to think back exactly what I said, because I'm one of those people that I probably just need to have it on record because I'm not exactly sure. And so I think one of the things we talked about, Graham came in, was just about being excited what's going on and own your story. Your story is what people care about. It isn't about, what other people have done. It isn't about this or that. Is people care about what experiences you've had. And they're going to, if you're passionate and excited about your story, that's great. And, really just getting, connected with, what results you've had. And no one can take that away from you. If you've had an experience with a product in Isogenics and you love that, then that's your story. And if you can, through a period of connecting and asking people the right questions and say, hey, you know what? I really want to share this with you. I've had this experience. Maybe it's not for you. That's fine. And say, this is what I've had, my connection to it. For example, for me, shakes and bars, when I was traveling and I was on the road 1 week a month, and I was, busy dad of 3 kids under, 5 at that point. And it to me was magical. And that's what's really, after 8 years, it's that simplicity of knowing what products I'm going to get. I don't have to question and how and when I can use them. Where I get in trouble is when I have to think about what I'm going to eat. And I know that can be a lot of people. And that's been my story. And so if you're looking for something that is consistent, if you're looking for something that tastes great, that to me is what Isogenics is. Now, the benefit of that, the kind of unanticipated benefit that I've seen is the person that I've grown into, because I'm surrounded with people that care about everyone around them. And they're not looking at you saying, hey, how much money can you make for me? It's instead of, I just want you to be a happy person, that's a healthy person, that lives a better life. And if you can do that, dude, you've won in this business. But if you're surrounded by people that are just looking at you as like, how many, all you have over the top of your head are dollar signs because that's all you're worth, man, that's no way to live. And that's an area where I don't want to be a part of. And I've seen that isn't Isogenics and isn't the culture that we have. And that is what's wildly exciting to me. And so that story and that ability to share that with people are looking for that in the world, and they don't even realize they're looking for it. We don't recognize what we have, but we have that culture and that community that's going to be there through the long haul. And that's what I'm really excited about, is really just saying, hey, that's who we are. That's what we are. And let's go.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Tyler. And just last thing, if anybody's on the fence for NYKO, like they don't know if they can make it, they might want to go, they're going to try, I know you kind of have the most insight out of anybody on this Zoom right now of what's coming at NYKO. So somebody who's really wanting to blow up their business, how important is it for them to make it?
Well, I think one of the things I'm going to, talk to the person that's maybe been in the business a few years. I'm also going to talk to the person that maybe it's just got started 6 months ago. The great thing that I believe about events is actually not what happens in the conference, is not what happens in the arena. The great thing about events is what happens out, is how you can connect with people, how you can, reconnect with people's values and goals, what's important to their family. Understanding, I'm going to use Emily because, we talked a little bit about Emily and her jacket, is if you were in that situation and you were able to talk to Emily and say, Emily, why were you racing home at, on a Tuesday night at, 8:30? And what's important to you in life, and you connect and you get to find out those things, that's more magical than what I say why network marketing is a cool business to be in. trust me, that's going to move you farther ahead in life than anything else. And so if you have the opportunity to connect with people around you and understand that stuff, man, it makes this business a whole lot more fun. Now, if you've been in the business for years, you not only get that, but I look at, I guess I'm partial. Gina should be partial too, but I'm partial. And, my responsibility to share something that's never been shared before about why network marketing, that's what I get to talk about, but also knowing that some of the other presenters are people that are going to give us a, kind of a real game plan to actually go do stuff and not just kind of like, oh, okay, rah, 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 we're all here. And I won't lie to you. That can happen sometimes. And I really looking at the list of people, that's not going to happen this year. And I'm excited about that. So the opportunity, like, hey, who doesn't want to be in Phoenix in the end of January anyways? I know for me, that's a great place. It's going to be warmer, but the opportunity to be around people and, get to know people, again, outside of the room is more important than inside the room. And that's what I love about events, is that connecting ability with people. So get there and get there.
Well, we are so excited to see you. And I'm just honored to be on a flyer with you, Tyler. That was pretty cool. Thank you so much for taking the time away from your family. I know it was 5:30, right? It's 5:30 to 6 p.m. by your time. So we just really appreciate your giving to all teams, the one team motto. I love that about you guys, and everything you pour into others. So if you guys can just, before we end the call, unmute, give Tyler a nice round of applause. Thank him for his time.
No reason. No, you don't need to applause. I just, please don't.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.